Hello, my name is Niamh. I'm one of the St Michael's House physiotherapists, and today I'm going to do my Pilates movement break. So if you have any injury or if you're recovering from any injury, check with your doctor or your physio to make sure that it is okay to do these exercises. All you need really is a mat, drink of water at the end of the session, and a little bit of time for yourself. So what is Pilates? Pilates is a form of movement that is designed to work with your natural posture, and it is designed really to safeguard you from injury. So it's quite soft, it's quite gentle, it promotes flexibility. It's really good at building core strength, which safeguards you from back pain. And what is really nice is that it builds self-awareness about your body and about your mind, because you integrate your breathing with your movements. So really, it brings harmony to your mind, your body, and your soul. So the first bedrock of Pilates is the breathing. So what you do is you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out through pursed lips. The exhale is audible. Let's hear you breathe out. And then you think about where you're breathing to. We want to breathe into our rib cage. So our ribs can get really, really rigid and stuck and stiff. And then our spine gets stuck and stiff. So if we place our hands onto our ribs, you feel those bony ribs there. You breathe in, and as you breathe in, the ribs move up and out like a bellows. And as you breathe out, they move in and down. Okay, so let's do that together. Breathing in and breathing out. So you can see how my fingers come closer together as I breathe out. So the movement is up and out behind. Try not expand it up to the ceiling, more out behind. So again, breathe in and exhale. So let's try that in the lying position, because when we breathe out, we press our ribs down and into the floor, so it's quite a nice sensation. So we take it down onto the floor into what we call the relaxation position. So that is where you really lengthen out the spine. So push your pelvis and your shoulder blades into your head into the floor and really inch the pelvis away. Place the feet flat on the floor. Knees are facing directly upwards. Imagine there's a torchlight coming out of each knee, and the beam is heading straight for the ceiling, not out and not in. We're going to roll the shoulders up and back, and as if someone's pushing them down on us. Okay. And then we're going to lengthen the back of the neck, and imagine there's a marshmallow behind your neck, and you're going to give that marshmallow a gentle squeeze. So that's our relaxation position. It's not relaxed, but it can become relaxed with practice. Let's practice our breathing now. Breathing in through the nose and out through pursed lips. Let me hear it. So as you breathe in, feel the ribs move out and backwards. So they're splaying out across the floor, and then exhale. Feel the ribs float down to the hips as this area empties. So breathing in again. Ribs splay on the floor and spread outwards. Okay. So from there, we're going to get a bit of movement into the spine. So we're going to contract our back muscles. And what that does is it tips our pelvis forwards and creates a gap And then we're going to do the reverse, contract the tummy muscles, as if someone's giving us a little punch in the belly, and we go, and then we flatten our back in to the floor. So again, contract the back muscles, tip the pelvis forwards. There's your gap. And then use your tummy muscles to close that gap. Breathe in as you tip forwards and open the gap. Exhale as you close it. Inhale, open the gap. Exhale, close it. Okay. Find the midpoint between that extreme of open gap and that extreme of closed gap. Find the midpoint halfway between those two extremes. And that's your natural back arch. That's your natural posture. That's what we want to work within when we're doing our Pilates. So let's keep it there. But how do we keep it there? We use our core muscles. And that is made up of our pelvic floor and our abdominal area, from around the belly button to the pubic bone. How do we engage that? We engage the pelvic floor by pulling up, as if, kind of pulling the muscles up as if stopping yourself passing urine and stopping yourself passing wind. And then we compress here. We feel, imagine we're exhaling these ribs down to this hip bone. And that causes these muscles, core muscles, to engage and contract. Okay, so that's a basic foundation exercise that we start all our exercises in there. So from here, what we're going to do is exhale into that posterior pelvic tilt, closing the gap. And then we're going to shorten here and lift the bottom up off the floor, peeling the spine one vertebrae at a time all the way up. So your glutes are squeezed and your tummy is squeezed in. And then exhale. Roll back down, top vertebrae lowering first, and then pelvis released. Exhale again, peeling the vertebrae up one by one, and exhale, release the vertebrae from top to bottom in sequence. Exhaling up. Be careful that we don't overarch. This is loose. Be careful we're not down here. This is loose. Tighten here and here. And exhale to roll back down again. And back to that neutral position, keeping the pelvic floor gently pulled up and the ribs gently pulled down to that hip. From here, we're going to do our ab prep. So we're going to take our hands onto our hips like this, making sure our pelvis isn't forwards or backwards. We've got that gentle little gap there. Hands on the pelvis, keep it steady. We inhale and we drop our eye gaze to our knees, and then we follow it as we exhale, we curl upwards. Inhale to hold and exhale to roll back down. So always breathe with the movement. Exhale on the loading. Careful not to breathe into the belly. Don't want that happening. That domey belly. Keep it compressed. Keep that closed. Okay. Well done. Okay. Flipping over now onto the tummy for what we call our breaststroke prep. So what we're going to do is glue our hands to our forehead, and we're going to get that same feeling of caving out, a kind of a dome here. So we're drawing the ribs down to the hips. We're keeping the shoulders away from the ears, and we're lengthening the neck. And as we do so, we inhale and lift and hover the arms from the floor. They're glued to your forehead. And then exhale to lower. Be careful. Don't come up like this. Don't let the head come up like that, because then you're just going to feel it in the low back. It's really important that this is an upper back exercise, not a low back strainer. So keep that belly button scooped up off the floor and inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Eyes on the mat. Exhale to lower. Well done. Push through the hands and the knees, and then sit right back onto your heels. Lift the tailbone up, sit back, scoop the tummy away from the front of the thighs. Keep it pulled in, as if there's a rugby ball in there. And then walk the hands forwards to the top of the mat. And if you can, rest your forehead to the mat. Keep those hands walking forwards. Breathe in. Stretch the ribs, stretch the t-shirt. And exhale. Walk the hands to the knees. Sit back, use your tummy to pull in and roll back up through the spine. So that's your shell stretch or child's pose. So, coming into your 100. Alright, so if you come back to the floor, with the 100 we're adding movement to our head up position. So we're really challenging this core area here because it's lifting the head, and then we're introducing arm movement. So let's practice the arm movement first. So it's very much like this. You're lifting the arms up, straight out from the shoulders, palms are flat to the floor, and it's as if you're bouncing a little ball, or it's as if there's a bit of water and you're playing with the surface of the water, okay? And you're just slapping it down, but really strong arms. Again, feel like someone's pushing you down on the shoulders. So to do this, we inhale and we head nod. We exhale and curl up to look at the knees, and then pulse as we breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5. Keep your trunk really still. We don't want any head banging, okay? Keep it really still. It's only the arms moving. Keep that tummy flat. And release back down. Okay, bring yourself up to sitting position. So, you're going to kind of lift the buttocks out to the side, the fat at the bottom. And what you want to be is on the seat bones, those bony bits, and balancing on them. You also want your neutral spine. So if you're sitting here and you find you're tipping back, it's no good. Take your feet forwards and really imagine there's somebody pushing you forwards at the pelvis and then lifting you up the rib cage. And then you can create space by pulling this gently back in. And then shoulders are down. Okay. So it's a really nice buoyant position. You're going to breathe the arms up so they're just out from the shoulders, and then widen the collarbone by drawing the shoulder blades together. We're going to do our half roll back. So we breathe in, and as we exhale, we tighten the tummy muscles. We keep the chin tucked. We aim to get the back of the pelvis to the floor and nothing else. And we inhale and we roll forwards. We exhale, we keep that engagement here to create a C shape. So you're in a capital C shape in your back. Keeping that chin tucked. We don't want this to happen, don't want that to happen. We want everything tucked in. All the work is here. It's not in the neck, it's not in the shoulders. It's in the abdominal area and it's in our shoulder blades. Exhale to roll back. Inhale to roll forwards. Exhale to roll back. Inhale to roll forwards. Audible exhales, going to make it work better for you. It helps with the engagement of your abdominals. Okay, well done. Rolling all the way back to the floor with control. I'm going to do our one leg circle for these hip flexors. So what we do, get into our relaxation position. Again, someone's pushing us down on our shoulders. We've pulled up to the pelvic floor. We've zipped up in here and drawn that rib down to that hip bone. In through the nose, out through pursed lips. We extend one leg to the ceiling and the other along the floor. Okay? And then we're going to imagine there's a pencil between our big toe and the next toe of the elevated leg. We're going to draw a circle with this pencil across the midline, out to the side and back up. So the bigger the circle, the more you're going to have to work here to not let this happen and this happen and the pelvis rock from side to side. Keep it strong, drawing the pencil line along the midline, out to the side and back up. So you create that circle to suit you. Challenge yourself by going a little further to make yourself work harder, but don't lose control. And pause and reverse outwards, across the midline and up, an outward starting circle. Keep going, but if you find that your hamstrings aren't long enough, bend the supporting leg, bend the elevated leg. That's absolutely fine. Some of us are just born with short hamstrings. No matter how much we stretch them, they stay that way. Okay, and release the leg down, lengthen it down or halfway lengthen, and then bring the other up. Again, draw on that pencil mark across the middle, floorwards, out to the side and up. No rocking in the pelvis. It's staying perfectly still. Reverse your direction. Outwards, round to the start. Outwards, round to the start. You may hear clicking the hips, but that's okay. That's totally normal. And last one. And release the leg down. Okay, well done. Okay. So we're going to do our single knee folds into our double knee folds. So again, our starting position is that relaxation position. Making sure we've got a nice long spine. Feet are flat. Knees torchlight is going directly up to the ceiling. Shoulders are pressed down. Pelvic floor engaged, tummy engaged. We're going to inhale and prepare. Exhale, lifting one leg up to what we call tabletop. I'll lift the other leg up so you can see. So tabletop is when your knee is directly above your hip and your lower leg is parallel with the floor. And we lower it back down. So keep alternating the legs. What we're doing is using our legs as weights to challenge our tummy and our core area. So, if we're finding this awful easy, what we can work towards is a double leg lift. So we bring one leg up and then we come onto the big toe of the other foot. And that's our prep. You always lower one leg at a time. So inhale up, exhale to lower. Audible. Now from here, if you feel strong enough, lift the other leg up and float it up beside it. Your double leg lift. That's a heavy lift. If you find this happening, your head is sliding down, your back is arching, you're not strong enough for that, that's not a good position for your back to be in. Flatten it back, lower one leg down and go back a step. Otherwise, if you're really strong here, continue with your double leg lifts. If you want to progress it even more, hold it. Time yourself. See how long you can go. Okay? So, we just have time for one more. And what we'll do is we'll come on to all fours. We're going to get into a neutral position on all fours. So hands beneath the shoulders, knees are beneath the hips. You can do your pelvic tilts, find the midpoint, pull up through the pelvic floor and the lower abs. Push that floor away actively, both with the backs of the feet and the hands, as if you're pushing a big heavy door. And then when you're ready, we're going to extend our right leg out. If you cannot extend your left arm out at the same time, keeping the back steady. Imagine there's a tray of full to the brim drinks on your back and you don't want to spill them. And draw and replace everything back in exactly where you left it from. We don't want this to happen. We want a really flat back. Again, get that tug of war feeling in the body where someone's pushing your shoulders downwards. Then if we want to feel a little burn, just to finish, tuck your toes underneath, push that big heavy floor away again, and hover your knees a hair's breadth off the floor. Hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull that tummy up, pull that pelvic floor up, push the floor away with the hands, and release. Knees down, flatten out the feet, lay the bottom back onto the heels, walk the hands forwards to the top of the mat and release the forehead to the floor. In through the nose, fill up the rib cage, get it moving and mobile, and then exhale. On the next exhale, walk the hands to the knees, sit back on the heels, roll back up through the spine, keeping everything switched on. Shoulder rolls up to the ears and down as if someone's pushing them down. Okay, so now hopefully you feel a little bit of heat in the body, you feel a little bit more energy. Feel a little taller. So now's a good time to get a drink of water, and you can always take that breathing mechanism away with you no matter what. When you need to count to 10, use those breaths and it'll help you get through whatever it is that you need to get through. Thank you for joining me today. Bye for now.